Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Invest Tall podcast, where tall newlyweds discuss all of life's investments.
In addition to talking about how we invest our money, we also want to talk about how we invest in ourselves and in each other as we begin our new lives as a married couple living and working in Europe.
Okay, as we told you last week, we'll go through the financial piece, talk about how we invest in ourselves, and then our relationship after that. We're just going to dive right into it with the financial part.
Last week, we discussed how to save money. This week, we're going to discuss when it's important to invest that money and the steps you should take before putting money towards your investments in the market, because we believe that it's not always smart to jump right into these investments right away with your money.
You have to make sure you have some things done before that.
For sure.
Once again, a little disclaimer, we're not financial advisors. We're just talking through different steps that we think should be taken before you invest. We just have to put that in there.
For us in our relationship, the first thing we wanted to make sure that we do with our money is set up an emergency fund. The goal of this fund is to put away 3 to 6 months of normal monthly expenses, whatever that may be for you. For each couple, it's different. For each person, it's different. But once you have that 3 to 6 months set aside, it should be able to cover a lot of emergencies that come with job loss or come with huge market downturns, come with, random pandemics, things like that. All these black swan events and emergencies should be covered with 3 to 6 months. It's recommended to buff it up to 6 months, especially if only one person is working a job, because a job loss will impact your family a lot more. If both people are working jobs and one loses their job, you'll still have income coming in. So sometimes it's okay to have 3 months, but we recommend 6 months. That's what we do right now. A good way to determine what 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses are is to set up an expense tracker or a budget, which we have. I built one. I actually worked on it a while ago. Our initial one.
We mentioned this in the last episode.
Yeah, for sure. But we recently built a new one over the last week, because it was on our minds after the last episode. So we built a new one.
If you guys are looking for one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about a little bit more later in this episode. We just wanted to plug that a little bit, because that is a way to help figure out how much you need to save for an emergency fund. Yeah,
we think it's very important, especially when you're starting out, to actually realize what you're spending in a month. And to do that, you need a budget. You need a money tracker.
Yeah. After saving your money for the emergency fund, the next step is to pay off your high interest debt.
Exactly. And it really depends what kind of debt you have. But for us, high interest debt includes, credit card debt. We never want to ever not be able to pay off our credit card because that usually incurs high fees, high rates of debt and interest on those. So pay that off. For us, low interest debt is usually like a mortgage, usually sometimes student loans, things like that. Can sometimes take a back seat to paying off that debt. I think the high interest debt needs to get done ASAP. Dave Ramsey?
Yeah.
He would preach that pretty much all debt is bad.
Yeah.
He would tell you that aside from your mortgage, you should pay off all your debt immediately. You should save $1,000. That's what he says. He says save $1,000 of an emergency fund, just one grand. That's it.
Okay.
Save that, pay off all your debt except for your mortgage before you even think about investing. That's the Dave Ramsey method. And I would disagree with that.
Really?
But what do I know? There's other methods out there for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like you should have all your debt paid off.
I think that if it's low, like 3 to 4% interest on your debt, investing that money in the markets where you're getting about 7 to 10% interest annually is a smarter way to accrue money to keep paying off that interest than just paying down that debt all the way down to zero, and you have no money invested by the time you're done paying that off, and you have to start from a later age, and then probably delay your retirement, in my opinion. I think we're going to talk about that maybe next episode, maybe this episode, about just compound interest and how that works, and how how starting at an early age really, really sets you up for success.
But you don't want to have debt lingering out there as you're doing this, because there's no point of having that extra money if you're just going to be continuously paying off that debt for the rest of your life. Either way, pay off your debt.
Unless it's low interest. So once you've created an emergency fund, set that aside, paid off a lot of your high interest debt, hopefully most of it. Hopefully all of it.
Yeah.
Then we recommend starting to invest. And the way that we recommend doing that is to first go through your employer, because a lot of the times they'll have free money, what we call it, free money, which is a match. A lot of employers will offer a 401k plan, which is a retirement plan, and they'll offer a match. Like if you put 6% of your paycheck in, we will match it 3%. Or sometimes they match it 6%. And then you're getting 3% to 6%, whatever it is, of free money from your employer that they add to your retirement plan without you having to do anything really. And they'll also manage that plan for you. So 401ks, 403bs, all the retirement plans out there that your employer manages for you. If there's a match, that can be very useful. Sometimes they don't manage it very well, which is why taking those investments into your own hands could be smart, but you can never argue with free money. So when there is a match, we recommend taking that match, investing up to the match guarantee, whether that's 5%, 3%, 6%, whatever it is that they say will match you. Invest that money into your retirement plan through your employer, let them take it. We think that's the smartest way to go about that step.
Yep. Yeah, and the interesting thing about that step is we actually don't have an employer match.
Yeah.
So we can't really do that step, but these are just the steps that we've kind of learned and what we've seen is out there. So if there's other steps that you guys recommend, this isn't us once again trying to give financial advice, but just kind of discussing it. And we also still want to be learning other steps that we could take. So that brings us to the final step, which is investing the extra money that you do have and kind of going into the fun part that we think of investing. Once that money is matched and you want to start investing into your own portfolio, that is the final step.
For sure. I think that everyone's position is a little unique, just like ours. Like my employer doesn't have a retirement plan that we can put into. They don't have a match or anything. So Tori's self-employed. So these steps are not concrete for us. We would skip that third step, go straight to the fourth, and we've already created our own portfolio, and our extra money from each month goes into that. And it kind of varies how much we're able to put into that each month. It just kind of depends on what we spent that month, how much we earned that month, all these different factors. So everyone's budgeting, yes. Everyone's situation is very different, and we understand that. So we're always learning, and our steps fluctuate on a monthly basis.
I think this is a good base to start with.
It's a great base, yeah.
When you're wanting to invest, or if you don't know exactly where to start, or if you want to, but you're like, wait, I don't think I have the money to, just check these off first.
For sure. The first two check boxes are huge. I think getting that emergency fund, paying off the high interest debt before you start anything is very important for us.
Yes.
And then,
otherwise, I feel like you're just going to end up with more problems.
Just kind of jumping the gun.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to start the next part of our podcast, which is how we invested in ourselves. This week, Parker had a game on Tuesday, and I went and hung out with some friends, like the wives and fiancés of Parker's teammates, and I think that was one way that I kind of just invested in creating different friendships for myself here and having time hanging out with other people.
Yeah, making some friends here in Germany.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, it was really fun too.
It was fun hearing all about you guys' conversations after the game and everything like that. Helps that we won.
Yeah, that was a big win.
All right, now for the way that I invested in myself this week, we kind of alluded to it earlier, but I spent the majority of last week working on a new budget template and building it in an Excel file. I spent a lot of time on this just because we've been thinking a lot about ways to help our listeners, ways to help our audience and stuff with the budgeting and the money tracking piece of this whole investment journey, the financial aspect. And so I've completed it. I've built a nice budget template. By the time this episode releases, we'll have a link to the budget template. I'm proud of it. Spent a lot of time on it. I think Tori knows that.
Yeah.
Worked hard on it. So it's a hybrid of taking what we used up until this point, and kind of making it better and making it more less personalized and more for just the general public of anyone. It's very adaptable and adjustable, so I'm excited to get that out to you guys. That was the majority of my week on top of volleyball.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you guys try it out, and Parker's been working really hard on it. It's been helping us out with our budgeting and finances for the past couple months. So you can click the link in our bio or the description of the video on YouTube. You can also find it in the bio of our social media accounts anywhere. Go check it out. We hope it helps you guys.
All right, now for the third and final part of the podcast. How we invested in each other this week and into our relationship. We did a bunch of stuff this week that wasn't just volleyball, basketball, or working on the budget template, which is fun. We did a good amount.
We did.
Recently, we baked cinnamon rolls together.
Yeah,
that was an interesting little journey.
It was. We spent like most of our Sunday doing that, just because it takes a while to have the dough rise. Which
we made our own dough.
It didn't really rise that much for us.
Yeah, we kind of messed up the yeast part. So the dough did not.
But I mean, they still taste really good.
They taste great. They're just flat.
Yeah, they're just not as fluffy as we wanted them.
A little chewy, but they're great. They're great. We also went to pick pumpkins.
Yeah, we got some pumpkins. These are like fresh market vending machines around here a lot in Germany. And now during the holiday season or like fall, they always have pumpkins and squash and different like gourds and stuff. So we finally went and got pumpkins, and I think we're gonna carve them possibly tonight. One way that I invested in our relationship or invested in Parker was he was a little under the weather this week, a little sick. He still kind of is, and
you guys can hear it in my voice.
I am as well. But anyways, I made him soup this week to try and help him feel better.
Love a good sickness soup.
Ew, that sounds gross.
No, that's what you do when you're sick.
Sickness soup?
Yeah, you eat some soup.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I mean.
Healed me right up.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, a little chicken potato soup instead of chicken noodle.
There you go.
It worked pretty good too.
Worked even better. Chicken noodle.
Yeah, did it help you feel better?
I think so. I'm on the up. I'm on the mend. I'll make you some soup tonight.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, we're still on our Harry Potter grind.
Yeah.
I think Halloween is very soon, and we have 1.5 more movies to go.
I think we timed it perfectly.
We're gonna be done like right on Halloween, probably.
Yeah. We can watch it literally Halloween night.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Deathly Hallows Part 2.
And Halloween is a thing here in Germany.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah.
It's not like huge, but I didn't know if they would celebrate it as much like we do back in the States.
We're excited to see if like we will have kids come to the door and ask for candy, because we're ready.
We are ready. Well, actually,
we're not ready, but we're going to be ready.
Yeah, we'll be ready with our pumpkins and everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to like here on YouTube. If you're watching on Spotify or listening anywhere, interact in any way. Leave comments. Let us know if you learned anything or anything that you want us to know. We are down to learn from anyone. And we hope to see you guys in our next episode. For every week on Thursdays. And don't forget that we're dropping our new budget template. So if you guys want to budget out your finances, please try it out. And you can purchase that in the link in our bio or the description. Life is short.
Stay tall.